Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to Hillcrest Congregational United Church of Christ. The Congregational churches trace their roots back to the Pilgrims that settled at Plymouth Colony in 1620, the same Pilgrims that we remember at Thanksgiving. I'd like to say a few words about that first Thanksgiving feast. It was truly a time of thanksgiving, celebration, gratitude. They'd been able to plant crops and harvest crops. They had more adequate food supplies than they'd had the first year. They had learned much about living in this land. They had constructed better shelter for themselves than they'd had the first winter. They were much more ready, and they had friends. We too have much to be thankful for. We have food, we have shelter, we have friends. But we should also remember that that first year for the Pilgrims had been very difficult. They had arrived without adequate supplies. They did not have adequate shelter the first winter. Many died of cold and of disease. This has been a difficult year for many people in our own community as well, and we should remember that. We should remember the times that we've been able to reach out to help and the times that others have helped us. We should remember the ways that God has brought us through. We should also remember at that first feast, at the beginning of the second year for the Pilgrims, about half the people, more than half of the people that gathered at those tables were Native Americans. That when the Pilgrims arrived at Plymouth Colony, the land already was peopled, that there were towns and trade routes and cultures. That is true also here in California, that there were people here before the Europeans arrived. We should remember the hard history from that time to our time, take responsibility for it, and try to continue to make new beginnings. I am thankful that what we think of from our European perspective as discovery and exploration was, in a way, a reunion of the human family, cultures being in contact with each other that had not been in contact before, and discovering that they had so much in common, that they had civilization, that they could love, that they could care, that they had their systems of justice, and they had gratitude. They had a spiritual understanding, an understanding of what was sacred. I am thankful this Thanksgiving that I get to be a part of this celebration with people of other cultures, other religious traditions. May we learn to live more justly together in more caring ways. May we learn from each other. I am grateful to be with all of you today.